And supper being ended, the devil having put into the heart of Judas Iscariot, Simon's son, to betray him. Notice, it starts out, Satan is put into the heart of Judas to do this. But if you go down to verse 27, and after the sop, Satan entered into him. Then said Jesus unto him, That thou doest, do quickly. You notice first he put it in his heart to do it. And then he enters into him and more than motivates him, he animates him to do it. Well, that's exactly the relationship between the man of sin and the son of perdition. In the man of sin is a human, a man, a person that Satan puts in his heart to become the man who represents the sinful plan and policy of the adversary. But then there comes a point in time, through some things that we'll study about in a few minutes, where he transitions from being simply a man into whose heart and mind the satanic policy of evil has been adopted, to the son of perdition, one into whom Satan literally enters in and takes over. And that's why in our topic it talks about the man of sin being about the son of perdition and the incarnation of evil. Just like Jesus Christ is the incarnation of God, the infleshing. The Word became flesh and dwelt among us. The son of perdition is a step beyond just simply him being a simple man who has given himself wholly to work Satan's plan. Now he has become the incarnation of that satanic plan. And more than just incarnation in the sense of it's in his heart, now Satan has literally entered into him. And it's a fascinating thing to see how that works. Come with me to the book of Revelation, chapter number 13, where we've been already this morning. And if you were able to chart, I didn't make an overhead PowerPoint presentation, and we don't have a chalkboard for me to scribble on, and I'm pretty much lost then, and you probably will be more so after I start talking. We start going through this stuff, in about 10 minutes you're going to wish I had a chalkboard to scribble on, because people, I get phone calls and mails from people that watch the television program, and I get people all the time, they'll write and they say, we want to do something, and they call me the chalkboard man, because you draw it on the chalkboard. And most people understand that if you see a television program with me, or any ministry with me drawn on the chalkboard, you need to see it from the beginning. Because if you come in the middle, you can't read it. And if you see it at the end, you don't think it made it, how could it have ever made it? But if you see it progressively put up, then you kind of follow along. So I'm going to try to talk slow. I have a tendency to want to talk quickly. I'm going to try to talk slow through these verses and be clear enough that even Des can get it written down. Okay? Revelation chapter 13. And I stood upon the sand of the sea, and saw a beast rise up out of the sea. Now it's important that you understand the issue. This beast is coming out of the sea. Now the sea is the Mediterranean Sea. But the reason that's important is because when you go back to the book of Daniel, there's also some beasts that come up out of the sea. And it's important to notice where they're coming from and the area and where they originate. And the beast rising up out of the sea, having 7 heads and 10 horns, and upon his horns 10 crowns, and upon his heads the name of blasphemy. Now you notice he's got 7 heads, and that's important in chapter 17, Revelation 17, to help identify that. And he's got 10 horns, but upon the horns he has 10 crowns. Now go back with me to chapter 6, where we were a little earlier, looking at the man of sin. In chapter 6, the man of sin is in view. In chapter 13, he's transitioned to the son of perdition. Chapter 6, verse number 1, and I saw when the Lamb opened one of the seals, And I heard, as it were, the noise of thunder, one of the four beasts saying, Come and see. And I saw and beheld a white horse. Now, in Revelation chapter number 19, the Lord Jesus Christ is riding on a what? A white horse. This guy's counterfeiting. In fact, one of the ways when you read a commentary, if you go to looking for a commentary or you look for a reference Bible, a study Bible, one of the places you can check to see the theological and doctrinal dispensational view of the writer is this passage right here. Because only premillennial dispensational Bible teachers will identify this guy as the Antichrist. Everybody else identifies him as Jesus Christ. You can read commentary after commentary on the book of Revelation and that doesn't take a dispensational or a premillennial approach, and this guy, they identify him as Jesus Christ. They say he's riding a white horse, and he's coming to bring peace, and Jesus is the Prince of Peace, and he's on the white horse over there, so it must be the Lord Jesus Christ. Wrong. It's not. It's the wrong guy. I saw and behold a white horse, and he that sat on him had a bow. And, notice, a crown was given unto him. And he went forth conquering and to conquer. Now this is the counterfeit Christ. This is the Antichrist. This is the man of sin as he begins his career. And notice he has a crown. The guy in Revelation 13 has how many crowns? 10. He's transitioned to the place where he has all 10 of those crowns. He starts out with one. If you go back to Daniel 7, you can watch his career as it unfolds. Those 10 kings are established. In fact, just go back there with me, Daniel 7. You'll have to remind me every now and then to go back and read these passages maybe for you, not just quote them, because my tendency will be to not read them, but to quote them for you. Very important that you get all these things in your mind at one time. And you have to understand my perspective here. You saw Brian trying to go through all that material. We've got all this material to get through, and I'm going through it laboriously slow. And and I'm thinking, we're never going to get down yonder. So I'm trying to give up before I start. But it's more important for me for you to get the things as we go than to get to the end of the road. Daniel 7. In the first year of Belshazzar, now we went over this passage a moment ago, and Brian was showing you how this doesn't match Daniel 2, which again is a standard teaching. If you've got a Schofield Bible or most any other study Bible, so this is the same as Daniel 2. It's not. I mean, the first verse tells you that. The first year of Belshazzar, king of Babylon, Daniel had a dream and visions of his head upon his bed. Then he wrote the dream and told the sum of the matter. Well, if he had it in the first year of Belshazzar, that's the last king of Babylon, Daniel 5. Belshazzar's there when Babylon falls. He sees the handwriting on the wall, and the Medes and Persians come in, take over. And he's the last king. Daniel chapter 2, that head of gold is identified as Nebuchadnezzar. Well, if these are beasts that shall arise out of the earth, their future, if Babylon's already there, then this can't be Babylon, can't be the first one, if these guys would have come after Belshazzar. So, you read that and you say, okay, I got that. And then you wonder why all these other people didn't get it, so you doubt yourself. Don't doubt yourself, just believe the verse. Now, verse 4, and by the way, verse 2, Daniel spake and said, I saw in my vision by night, and behold, 4 winds of heaven strove upon the great sea, and 4 great beasts came up from the sea, diverse, one from another. Verse 4, the first was like a lion. Verse 5, behold, another beast, and the second was like a bear. Verse 6, and after this I beheld, and lo, another like a leopard. Then verse 7, and after this I saw in the night visions, and behold, a 4th beast, dreadful and terrible, strong exceedingly, and it had a great iron teeth. Now, it's important to remember that. It had great iron teeth, and it devoured and brake in pieces, and stamped the residue with the feet of it, And it was diverse from all the beasts which were before it, and it had 10 horns.